then maybe you could take the Sion away or the Gragas to try and deny it if you want to do that against BAUSSI. I feel like it's illegal he gets to pick between both of those though in game 1. The Trundle also very high priority. I do like that too. And would say if you pick the Sion, I have good tank kill against you.
Yeah, I just really like the Trundle right here because not only is he pretty good at skirmishing with any other face-to-face 1v1 jungler that comes up, but I will say that Sion getting locked in right here doesn't matter. He doesn't play tank. Who cares if there's a Trundle in the game? Like you're just gonna take away what his base stats. Like be my guest. This guy just builds full AD on the Sion. Doesn't matter. He's not a tank. He's still gonna do what he does best, which is proxy and be a nuisance. I've said it before. I think mechanically his best champion is Gragas. But map awareness and macro wise, his best champion is by far the Sion, and LR thrive in the mid to late game macro.
Whoa. We've had a Seri lock-in, by the way, as well over here. We talk so much about the Ynera. Is this a Seri spot? Instead, they slam it down on R3. Okay, you know, you've got me intrigued now. Now you need to ban out a few of those AD carries, though. Ban away the Jhin, ban away the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, that's my thought. Do you take like the Jhin for Kanauni and then the Alistar, the usual? Is it enough to deal with the opponent? So far, they're not that tanky. So maybe that could be an answer as we try to look now for LR. I still think this Trundle, it's a flex. I know it should be the jungler. It's a flex.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Chachi has played Trundle before.
Yeah,
so
we just saw it in the replay.
It could very well be a flex, and you look at LR right here, and they're banning Cho'Gath.
Yeah,
so
I think it will go top.
They're just trying to make sure that this Trundle goes, even if it goes top lane. You know, at least they're taking the Cho'Gath away as a shot there from Chachi. I'm not sure what Chachi could end up playing here on the top side of the map. I don't know if he wants to go to something like an Ornn, perhaps, just add more front line in front of the Zeri. I mean, again, it's a champion that really likes to scale it into the late game, so I feel like a little bit more front line from Nord, potentially something like an Alistar maybe as a support, and like a tanky top lane that can also engage, like Ornn could be really good for the side of Nord.
I feel like there are a lot of power picks left open here. Now, for the side of Nord, what do you realistically pick away here to stop lots of Ratones? They could get the Sire Rakan, they could get the Jhin, they could get the Lucian. Like, there are so many good combinations for that bot lane still left open. I'm not sure if they've banned the best things here, to be honest. It's the earliest pack is taken away.
That kind of takes away the combo of Reckless and Kanauni with the Jhin. It almost takes a little bit away from the Jhin. There's some pairs with the Jhin, but do you want to bring the Jhin? Because finally we need something. But probably you're going to take the support. You're going to still bring that flexibility.
Knowing LR, they could very easily even go towards the Sivir route, towards the bot lane. Again, they've got so much destruction with the Sion and the Wukong over in the backlines as Chachi locks in the Renekton here. I mean, I really like Nord's early game. I feel like this Trundle has so many choices on where to play. Do you want to play around Aurora and the Pillar? Do you want to play for Renekton top lane? I feel like the map is like Jankos' oyster right here. He gets to play through whatever lane he likes.
Yeah, the Silverhover coming through. I think the Sire Rakan will be a very strong slam here. At the very least for Rakan, a real possibility for Reckless. The Rel could also be one despite the nerfs. Still heavily favored in the meta. You could, I mean, you don't have too much engage. The Lulu, though, will definitely buff up the Sivir. So if we go late game, well, I mean, that's very strong. It is more a denial, I suppose, against the Seri Lulu, right? Could go Seri Yuumi if you really want to treat, but I don't think that's his champion pool. He wants to go and engage. I think he'll go on something like the Rel or the Rakan.
He needs to get that engaged.
Yuumi. Damn, it's like a horror film.
Yeah,
like
I got scared. I actually got scared.
It's the Rakan, yeah, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, okay. How are we feeling before I toss it to you, Desk? Before I get your prediction, chat. This is your opportunity. Spam the chat. Now is the time. And
those late game fights get nasty. Adrian, how you feel about today? How you feel about this matchup in game 1? Nice little fancy flyover as we head onto the Rift.
I'm feeling excited, and I'm feeling a lot like Jonah Strong from the LCK. I'm the only one today predicting a Nord victory. And I think this opening game draft here for Nord, the chances look quite nice. Like you were alluding to, Jankos has a plethora of options throughout the entire map. He is not going to be stripped for any, bar potentially some level 1 shenanigans, but for the time being, LR kind of just abiding to the gentleman's agreement of a mostly 5-point. So it seems like we will just get a relatively standard level 1.
No invaders yet. nothing super crazy. And I think both teams, the scaling looks pretty solid on both sides. I will say, for the side of Lost Ratones, of course, you've got the Syndra and the Sivir, both known for getting pretty scary as the game goes on. Yes, you've got the Zeri on the other side, but you're also into BAUSSI's Sion, who's gone for Grasp. He's into an Ecton, but again, it's BAUSSI's Sion. You never know. Maybe he just suddenly decides, I feel like a Ghostblade build today, and you kind of just have to deal with it.
Yeah, he has started Cloth Armor, though, so that does...
That would make that harder, I grant you.
He's likely to go some kind of tank build, or at the very least, start a tank item.
Right? Yeah, you're right. Just steel caps, that's it. You know, nothing else.
It's just for the steel caps rush and nothing else. You know, getting to that, 900 base, a lot more achievable than a 1200. You know,
I'm there with you. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I can see him justifying it, and Caedrel sort of slowly losing his mind as he looks at what his top lane is building.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, he's gone Cloth Armor start. I can't believe it. Something like that, right?
That's not a bad impression, you know. We'll send him the clip later.
We are both English at the end of the day.
It's very true. It is very true.
I feel like we can get away with that. But junglers both starting on blue, and I'm not too surprised that Jankos is starting off on his blue side and passing up towards the top side of the map. The previous time in the best of 3 where NORD did end up besting Lost Ratones, it was a lot of focus on Baus, right? And
yeah.
It was one of the few times where not only was it focus on Baus, but it wasn't over-focus, right? It wasn't situations where oftentimes you'll see other teams put a lot of resources into putting Baus behind and getting their top laner ahead, but then losing out on the wrong side of the map. They are decent at managing that, so that's where my eyes are going to be at. If they are going to focus on trying to make topside plays consistently, whether or not Velia has the options or is given windows of opportunity to make plays on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, because again, when we have seen Lost Ratones lose before, and it's been a rarity to put it bluntly, they have not done a lot of losing at all this year. In fact, in the grand scheme of things, they're en route for a golden road down here in the ERLs, depending on how things play out across the rest of the year. But they are very, very damn scary. But on the other side, you're looking at NORD and you're going, 4 out of 5 of those players have got LEC plus experience. If there was a team that could match the experience and skill cap and caliber of Lost Ratones, NORD's going to be one of the few that could at this level.
Absolutely. The amount of history in just the top side alone
I know.
is quite the daunting thought. And I'm not going to be too surprised to see them put that experience to the test, especially when I think about the strengths of Lost Ratones and how it's typically very mid-game focused, right? Mid-game macro and kind of assignments, anything like that. Now, pause that point, because as you can see, Jankos has snuck into this pixel rush. He's eyeing up a Baus gank, but he's playing very safe.
He has to. Pillar potentially available. Really good pillar from Jankos. Stun afterwards. The dice after onto Baus. And the Lumberjack song gets out to safety, but down that flash, and the wave still remains in a relatively tricky scenario. Bot side, Syndra's managed to go down somewhere to Zvero, and all the while...
Yep, mid lane.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a double knock up there with the Grand Entrance. Can't get the dive on the other side, so NORD very happy. Not sure what happened mid lane. I'm hoping production will have a replay for us, and we'll get to see.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
So what was it? Just a little bit of disrespect? Yeah, I mean, electrocute, Q, the missing HP on the pullback. It's not, you know... It's not one of those things necessarily that you're going to expect, and Zvero was very quick on the sticks, so very well played to him. He gets himself first blood, a nice little advantage in the mid lane. We'll see what itemization he opts for, because we've seen plenty of different Aurora builds, especially since MSI. But I'm very surprised about how that top gank played out earlier on, because Jankos seemed kind of hesitant to flash over the pillar and secure himself first blood. But they still were able to get that flash off of Baus, so he's still going to be a very vulnerable target. And we will continue to track how that top lane state continues out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And again, Chachi with an early lead can be an absolute menace. Was our MVP in spring, and I think rightly so. He was absolutely terrifying in the regular season, of course. Came through the finals and it didn't quite work out, but looking to get some vengeance here in summer. Have switched out a few players. In fact, man, they got that solo kill. Zvaru having a great time of early on. Electrocute on Aurora is so easy to proc because you're Q2, a couple autos. Getting in there, you just everything and anything it feels like can get that early electrocute proc and get the early trades that the Aurora can turn into a shotgun very fast indeed. Has come back to lane with that early lost chapter. I'm feeling very happy about the place in the game right now.
Yeah, certainly so. And whilst the laning prowess of Aurora is certainly not lost on me, it's actually the skirmishing that I'm going to be more interested to see as to how Zvaro actually pilots those situations around the dragons, around this first grub spawn. He's going to have priority, and I mean, he can just find a solo kill. Oh, he buffed
my god, he's got it. That's not even easy. Just walks. I mean, the stun comes on through, puts down the between wells. It just doesn't matter.
That was insane. I mean, just finds Nemesis, plain and simple. Velia's still, by the looks of things, going to be able to get this dragon, and it's not something we touched on just yet, but bot side, a lot of priority has to be expected from Sivir Lulu into what is effectively, you know, Zeri, who doesn't really have any wave clear, and then also Rakan, who doesn't have any wave clear either. So it's not too great, as we are witnessing. I feel like we don't see this often from BAUSSI, like just raw deaths to tower for tempo, but of course a good death nonetheless. Jankos is going to walk in on the remains of this dragon, so LR will pick up that cloud and get the ready set dragon snowball going. But I mean, bot side, is Jankos still willing to just set the play?
Looking for it. Velia's around. Do they know he's there? Yeah, I think they will surely have spotted by now. Crowny's still in danger. Nimbus strike on forward. Jankos on the frozen domain. Has to flash away. Hito looking a little low on mana here. So flash down from Jankos. Barrier down from Crowny alongside the heal. Not exactly the cleanest little skirmish there from NORD, who ended up being a bit surprised. That's actually topside. Going to have Chachi throw down the Dominus, looking for a bit more. Gets the stun with that Ruthless Predator. Could begin to try and cull the meek here a little as well. Big old chunk. Dominus still going. BAUSSI decimating smash is just shy. And another kill. Chachi manhandling that 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, BAUSSI used the ultimate to get back to lane, and without flash, Renekton can't just do that to you. So a little bit of disrespect. But he's not going to miss a wave, but he is still giving over, of course, the gold, the experience to this Renekton. And I feel like in a game like this, where you're kind of relying on the minutiae of engage, where it's like, hey, can we get a pillar? Can we get, you know, a good angle on the Aurora? A strong Renekton flank when he's ahead is just going to feel even worse for the side of LR. So I do feel like BAUSSI needs to kind of pick his moments for stuff like this as the lane continues, because it could definitely yield a pretty big problem for LR in the mid game.
Yeah, again, because again, one of the few top laners that BAUSSI sometimes had an issue with is Chachi, but now bot side play happening, the picture-in-picture, 1v1 one side, and 3v3 skirmish in the bot lane on the other, but again, NORD going to be pushed back in that bot lane. For all they are winning the 1v1s in their solo lanes, their early skirmishing in bot lane hasn't really led to all that much as yet.
Yeah, not just yet. Again, does make sense when you think about how the lane priority plays out. I am a little bit concerned about Jankos and his early decision making so far. It does feel like he's kind of hesitating. He's very apprehensive on a lot of these plays that he's made, even the very good ones, right? You think about the very first gank, the first clear on BAUSSI. Hopefully he looks a little bit more sharp as things progress. The grubs are up. He's on the top side of the map. Chachi is hanging around here with ultimate. Coming up in a couple of seconds' time. BAUSSI is about to have flash up, but again, it's Velia who's on an objective first. You've got first move as well, as expected from Crowny and Reckless up towards this top side.
Always been one of our best teams at the macro moves. Heard the desk chatting about Velia saying, look, we've got a nemesis. We've got this X factor in terms of macro and scaling, and not been hulking out so far in this early game. She's been made a bit angry. Pillar, though, from Jankos onto BAUSSI, who's got his flash back up. Decimating Smash comes on down. Reckless looking to roam on up. Crowny's also popped the on the hunt. Maybe looking to make this a 2v3. Good choke from Chachi. Wild Growth on down. Decimating Smash lands onto Jankos, who doesn't have the subjugate rolling all the while. Velia picks up the last remaining grub.
Yeah, this is very good for LR, all in all. And observers, I don't know if I can actually ask, can we get a look at the bot lane wave as well? Because if this is pushing out from NORD, I think this is a really bad situation for their bottom side as a whole. Chachi is going to miss out on a little bit of XP, but this is fantastic from LR. This first 10 minutes or so.
Oh, spot on production, thank you.
Again, just a very, very excellent move all in all. BAUSSI to the bot lane from LR. And honestly, I've been very concerned about their early games so far this split. I think they've looked very, very shaky and I think exploitable, to be completely honest with you. And speaking of exploitable, Nemesis does have flash.
He's had to burn it though. The subjugate comes on down. In him comes that twofold hex, and it recalls to the death of the Syndra. 0 and 3 now. BAUSSI in the 1v1 versus Chachi, and this primordial predator hitting that ruthless variety of it. I think a chunk on a BAUSSI won't go any further. I wondered exactly how far they'd be willing to go, but clearly not to the death is the answer so far. But still going to be another reset from BAUSSI, interrupted by the cull for me.
Yeah, that's a big deal, because maybe they can actually look to try and strip away some plates on the bottom side here. There's a TP from Nemesis. He's going to have to use that mid. There's actually a TP right now behind the bottom side of Reckless and Crowny.
Oh, lightning crash between worlds, and I tell you which worlds they're between. It's life and death. And Crowny, you got a barrier, but it's not stopping you from Spyro going on a rampage. Has a Luden's companion and shoots the Sivir in the head.
This is great from Spyro. He's now taking this mid lane lead and extending it into other places on the map. A ward was placed, I'm unsure when, frankly, but he's able to get the teleport and flank angle in. and finds himself the kill onto Crownie and now sits at 4-0 with a 1k gold lead over Nemesis.
And again, if he's going to go towards this Luden's Shadow Flame build we started to see crop up a little bit in place of the Liandry's Riftmaker style, if you hit any of these squishy members, and realistically, that's anyone not named Baus, and hell, Baus has gone towards a Titanic Hydra build. He's just started on cloth armor. I knew it. I knew this, man. You're going to hit everyone for an insane amount of damage, especially if you're snowballing like this. Treats interrupts Nemesis, won't lead to anything more than that.
18 gold on the first strike stat.
That's all he needed.
Yeah, he's got to claw that gold back somehow. First strike will definitely help.
Help, inverted commas, a little bit. For now, need to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Now, LR are posturing around this dragon. They would certainly like to get the second one. Remember, this composition from LR does love to team fight. Very much front to back is kind of the ideal circumstances.
Oh, Hido.
Hido.
On the hump, popped as well. No Cyclone.
Okay.
I think that looked a little uncoordinated there as Hido just presses the E button and lightning dashes away. Sorry, Spark Surge. That's the name of the E. I will get that right one of these days. All the while in the picture-in-picture. Thank you very much. Production. Baus is doing Baus things and proxy farming.
I mean, it's being matched, though. It's being matched by Chachi, so he's not going to be too far behind on tempo here. But there will be a small window right now where Baus gets to make a move and make a play, whilst Chachi is still stuck on the top side of the map. So let's see what exactly NORD are able to accomplish, because they are the ones starting up the dragon, and LR are about to have numbers advantage around this objective.
Zviru is around though, and you've got to keep your eyes on that very fed bunny rabbit, looking like Monty Python's killer bunny right now. Has anyone got a hand grenade? I don't know. See where that LR can toss one at him and counter the right number. All the while, Mounted Dragon being started.
Once a TP.
This time by
there
LR, they pulled off, and there is the TP you were calling for. Tweets on the angle, same with Hido. Can look to Spark Surge over the wall. It's got the Lightning Crash available, and off the Dragon we go both sides. Not feeling entirely comfortable starting this up.
Does Velia want to flip? That's the big question. Nemesis is on an angle as well, potentially for a stun over the wall.
Maybe look for it. Between Worlds comes on through. Treats on the backside.
Oh, Treats!
Double knock-up. It's gorgeous stuff. Out comes that big old shock from the W1s there. He can't quite get the kills they were looking for. TP topside from Baus. Dragon secured from NORD, and somehow, actually, no one dies there. I am well surprised.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, if Nemesis didn't disengage that with the 5-man scout of the week, bodies would have certainly be dropping. But NORD secured the objective and split the dragons one apiece. That's the headline of that play. Baus did immediately teleport up to this top side, so he is going to reap the benefits of a couple of plates in return. But at the end of the day, I think the fact that LR are no longer going to be stacking up that dragon pressure is a big sigh of relief for these NORD players.
Massively true. And of course, all the while, Chachi stayed bot, can look to try and return that favor bot side. Nemesis with no TP. Should be able to pick up a turret plate or so. There's Zviru also in this mid lane, going to get one there as well. Yanko's going to go in. Hang on, you blast going into 2! Oh, Velia, you can't be doing that. The warrior tries to interrupt. Flash away means nothing, because Zviru is there with open arms. 5th kill now for NORD's mid laner.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad at all this game. Now there's a lot of pressure on this top side. Playing's fallen off. Remember, NORD secured 3 kills. LR are on 2 objectives. If NORD can find themselves this first tower, they'll get themselves the feats of warfare, though LR, I think, are going to find it on this rotation here. Chachi doesn't have ult. He's going to find it very difficult to hold this tower. And on the top side, the wave was cleared, so LR will get first tower. That'll bring it all down to the objectives, and that's Herald spawning in 35 seconds time, and we'll see how the assignments lie in about 30 seconds once that objective spawns up.
Worth noting in the picture-in-picture, we saw Yankov steal an entire quadrant there from Velia, who is looking a little bit worse for wear in terms of those farm lanes. To be very worried, he's on vision this entire time. Chachi gonna get by that scout of the week. Should be able to just slice and or dice away, so shouldn't really lead to all that much. Just a love tap and a first strike stack from Nemesis, who is at 72 Splinters of Wrath. Again, 120 is the max on that one, as never mind Syndra stacks between worlds onto Crown. He's gonna go and try and speed himself up, but the barrier means nothing. Wait for the pullback, not quite there. Shield from Reckless, and Flash, he gets the barrier and the ult away, survives it. I am actually slightly surprised.
If I saw that right, I would love maybe a little pip. I think Zviru missed his Q. I think he missed the 2 full hits. And that's actually what ended up being the difference maker there. I could very well be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the particle effects I saw swing just to the left-hand side of Crownie. So, does mean they don't get lethal, but the chunk is still enough to secure this Rift Herald. And now the next objective is going to get either team these magical boots. Nemesis, however, is in a 4v1 situation, and there isn't a lot of immediate pressure right now. So let's just
picture-in-picture, we've got that replay.
I think he misses that Q. Trying to focus on both things he does.
I know. Yeah, Nemesis is a dead man, so there you go. And I think you were right on the Q call there. Very well done, Adrian. Got eagle eyes on that one, and we managed to split our focus just about. I hope you got most of what was happening there.
Yeah.
TLDR, Nemesis died. They get
Nemesis
the
dead.
top side with the Herald.
Herald is top, yeah.
Chachi and Baus trading out here. He's got the Titanic Hydra now. Does Baus about 7 stacks on that Cull to cash in. Already happened for Crowny.
Ooh,
and has actually got a mild gold lead mid lane, though. They managed to get that Herald on in there, and they'd get another turret. Now look at the lead for mid jungle. We were saying, yo, you've got a Wukong Syndra. That sounds like a really good mid jungle to me. Jankos and Zvaru laugh at that and say, no, you don't. Not compared to us.
I mean, it's one of the old classic, teachings, really, of identifying win conditions for both sides, not just your own team, but the enemy. And we were highlighting how Jankos could certainly look towards the top side and really look to attack and abuse Baus. But if the potential strength of the early game from LR is supposed to come from Nemesis and Velia as a duo and trying to move around the map, murdering Nemesis on repeat is not a particularly bad plan, and it's worked out so far. As this gold lead continues to extend itself individually between the mid laners, and as Vera is at 2 items, he's got the Storm Surge as well.
Strong.
So
Yeah,
very,
he
very
has.
powerful 2-item build.
Again, like, you don't need Shadow Flames off and another second item, but going towards this one means you can just tag one ability and you'll get that Storm Surge proc with how much you're just doing to these poor squishy members. Especially when you're trying to run away really fast to, say, the Sivir or whatever, you get tagged by one ability and it just hurts that significant amount more. Chachi trying to bait a recall stop there, but is much more interested in making sure he gets this cannon minion, so understandably goes and clears up that wave.
Yep. And I'm really interested to see is how Chachi is going to want to approach this next dragon. So did I, but it's okay. As he is on the top side of teleport, and as you actually look towards Streets on the bottom side at the moment, he's trying to get a little bit of vision down in this bottom side jungle. And Velia, this signals to me that LR have no real interest in contesting this dragon. I think NORD kind of get a read, so I'm wondering what they want to do in response. The immediate answer is going to be just shoving in mid lane and trying to keep LR on their toes, making them make a decision on where to be as that dragon does spawn up. And again, once things start to get a little bit more tight, right? Things start to kind of get suffocated in once towers drop, once vision starts to get denied. LR are going to feel a little bit uncomfortable face-checking without SION around to do so, and especially with a Trundle and a Rakan in the game. Now, here's that cross map we were talking about. Not too surprised. You saw Velia posture up here earlier, but Treats exactly is here to cover. So how easy is this dive, really? Looking to try to clear the wave. I don't think they're going to be successful. They will still give up the tower.
And just pop that Shireliers to try and get the speed up onto the Chachi, who's going to get knocked up multiple times. Cyclones and Wild Growth. Treats, though, goes on in with the quickness. Stunned up by the scattering of said weakness. Chachi trying to get the Ruthless Predator, the culling. Just not going to be there. Sorry, Cull the Meek. There's no Lucian in this game, but the point still kind of stands. Sion's going to go unstoppable. Body blocked by Zeri. Don't see that one very often. Jankos with the Subjugate will help secure the kill, and they go 1-for-1 in terms of top laners. All the while, tier 2 under siege.
Tier 2 on the top
Do
side,
LR manage to get that? I think they probably do here.
They did. It's gone already. So it's going to be top side tier 1 and 2 for bottom side tier 1. Not really much in the mid lane. Just, of course, that pick onto Baus, who I don't think he picked up any kills. No, they've only got 1 kill LR, and that was the top side. So it wasn't really a lot of gold on Baus, but of course, critically the dragon is the other major objective, which went over to NORD, and that is going to secure them those feats for the boots.
Very much is. Again, they got that second dragon. Worth noting, though, that despite all of the kills, despite all of the good stuff on screen, the overall gold lead is kind of not there. In fact, it's mildly in LR's favor, and eyes particularly on Crowny, who's been farming up a storm here well ahead of 10 CS a minute. 2 items on the Sivir, and if there was a win con, if there was some scaling, sure, Nemesis had a rough game. Fortunately, you have a Crowny in the back pocket as an additional win con, who is very, very scary right now.
Thankfully, you also have one of the most prolific Sivir players of all time as your support. Probably whispering sweet things in your ear, like, hey, Crowny, there's this top wave.
I would have ricocheted
nice,
that,
doesn't it?
I would have spell shielded that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So he's doing just fine at that 2-item mark. He is substantially ahead on Hido. That mid lane deficit is made up for by the ADCs for the time being. And, Hido, it looks like he's going towards an attack speed item second, so he will be there soon. As NORD are actually getting shoved off mid-wave. They do have Hido in base, and he just went and picked up that Runan, so his team fighting and his AoE is going to get a lot stronger. But he definitely wants to hit that IE mark. You go and attack speed item second like this, as Treats is on an angle, and yeah, like you say, he's off vision.
Quiet,
dangerous.
Chachi on the flank, thinking about turning on to him. Look at the Rakan, the pillar interrupts one Baus, now potentially in danger, but Chachi will dice away, gets out to safety. The roll low right now. Hida, though, with the Hurricane's got the lightning crash rolling, looking to try and keep that ultimate up. Spark surging forwards, the clone is there, allowing a little bit of lightning through. Nemesis of the wall gets a stun on 2. Ooh. That is valuable for disengaging, neither side quite finding what they're looking for. Jankos with the pillar on Nemesis, exhaust between worlds. Chachi on the flank angle looking for more. Can he flash on forwards? Dice slice, could look for some dice. Scatter the weak, no, denies any realistic engage. All the while in the backline goes Baus, looking to go down as Chachi now also a threat as Crownie unleashes, looking to slice and dice out, cannot do so. The crocodile fire down for the count as Baus is also out at the zombie form. The scatter the weak just shy, 1-for-1. Both top laners go into the backline and don't emerge in one piece.
Yeah, that last scout of the week might have been just short on connecting on to Jankos, but the first one disengaged Chachi perfectly. And if he was able to find an angle onto Nemesis, onto Crownie, then that fight could look many different ways. And out of 100 times, I think most of them would go towards Nord if that flank works, but it doesn't quite. Without Chachi, Nord are actually trying to start up this Huracan. I think that's pretty brave. And they rightfully disengage as Hido's base actually gets interrupted. Jankos, is he about to do a blabber? There is no knock-up. Oh, well, there is from the Wild Growth.
Got a giant blast cone, though. Need an energy drink to sponsor those, because there ain't something natural about those and something about giving people wings. Either way, Jankos gets out to safety. Just about. Wild Growth burn for the knock-up. I appreciate the attempt, Reckless. That was quite clever, quite cute. About a minute until Dragon. Be sole point for Nord if they can get it, and they're looking to secure all the vision as LR reset.
Exactly. Again, really important to highlight just how crucial vision is for this Nord side. Running the Rakan, running the Renekton, and the Aurora. If you can find multiple angles of engage on a composition that realistically wants to play front to back, it's so valuable. That blasting cone is or sweeping vision cone is going to reveal a fair bit of Nord's vision. But they've already started up the Icon, and LR are a little bit slow. There's a world where they can maybe try and burst this out, even flip it in front of Velia.
Zyro goes across the veil, looking for a twofold hex and gets it. Chunk onto that Wukong. Down comes Baus, looking to find an angle. Stun onto Jankos. All the way Chachi coming on in, looking for the flag goal. It's going to be a flip. Smell the burgers. Who's going to win it? It's Velia! Steals the Atacon. What about the fight afterwards? Nemesis with a scout of the week prevents Chachi to get the value reward.
Zero's dead.
They killed his viral. They managed to kill the bunny rabbit. The sharp pointy teeth mean nothing. How do they keep getting away with it? Lost Ratones. Find the team fight. Find the Atacon. And Nord, it's back to the drawing boards.
Nord flip the coin and LR snatch it out of the air. There's not much else to really say. I mean, Nord could have very easily disengaged this. Chachi wasn't on the strongest angle, but it's an angle that LR can actually just very happily disengage from. Baus is on the backline, causing a whole bunch of havoc, and Jankos just doesn't get the smite. Plain and simple. Once the objective goes down, Zvero's been chunked out, and all in all, it's just an opportunity for Crownie to start to open up with all of the front line, all of the disruption going on in the back line.
And look, he had Flash, he had Barrier, he had a heal, a Wild Growth, all the things to keep him in one piece as he was 1v1ing with that Renekton. More like a 2v2, let's be real, there's enough members around. All the while, though, Baus not having a lot of fun here, and Chachi's still got Flash. I think Baus is just a very dead Sion.
Unless?
No. When's his ult up? Not quite yet. Chachi, got a slice in the dice, should just get that few. Thank goodness for that. I was about to get very annoyed, but it's fine.
As was I. Baus has this magical tendency to just make those disengages happen.
Does a bit.
Times. Whilst we were yapping over the replay as well, important to note that LR did get that second dragon, so I think Soul is probably not going to be on the table for a little while. Crownie's making his way towards that last Whisper item. No doubt will be LDR. Now, I feel like Nord, I don't want to say they're running out of time, but I feel like the flat surface scaling of Lost Ratones composition is just a little bit stronger, but with Nord, it's about the engages and how they actually approach fights. So there will never really be a time where they're out of a game completely unless we see a massive gold swing, right? Even bigger than the one we've just got now. But you do have to feel a little bit concerned if they aren't able to find those ideal fights and LR continue to seek out front-to-backs and get them.
As the Shirelli is away, again, Nord, they've still got this very scary Aurora who will still be able to blow up someone like the Sivir, someone like the Syndra, but the more it's become about these 5v5s and the more we've seen Nord kind of fumble their flank engages, the more worried I've gotten. We're doing again. I can smell the burgers, Jamada. And Velia's already won that last one of the fast food store.
I think this was the idea. They want to try to catch people off resets. But I mean, is he one shot?
He is! He's going to get across the veil for a second or two! But there is a 6-foot deep hole waiting for him in the cemetery. Back towards the Baron they go, looking to make sure they get the big purple worm.
35 seconds of freedom for Nord. What can they achieve with it? LR are pushing in this mid-wave. They still have the Civvy. He's got no flash crowny. He needs to be careful, and there is still the Rakan engage available, but Rakan, Treats, does not have flash.
Spyro off vision on the hunt, coming on down, still on the Baron, down to half HP, trying to burn it down. Watch for Nemesis. Treats also on the flank, looking for more. What can they do as Baus try to warborn up? Treats will go into the quickness, right by some onto Nemesis. They go, he's dead! He's dead! The Rakan is down, flash out from Nemesis. Baron's still going on. It's not being taken! You're in a 5v4 and you still can't get the Baron!
It's a catastrophe for Nord, and that was the window they really needed to make something happen in. LR forced them off the Nash. Treats was looking for the angle. We've been talking about it all game, how Nord want to try and find flanks with these 3 crucial members, and he's just chunked out as he kind of just runs into Crowny. And now LR, with Velia coming back from base, they're going to be the ones to start this up, as Treats respawns just now. He's got no teleport from that spellbook. It's a long walk back, but he's got the coast. He's trying to make distance.
2 seconds on Jankos' flash. I don't know whether it's going to be enough. He's going to try and flip it. Ultra Shock laser across the wall, down to 2k space. Scout of the week comes on up, and Nemesis also chucked low. Can't do it! Civis somehow sort of secures it with, I think, a boomerang blade. Chachi's going to pop the dominance, but they've already lost the Trundle. Decimated Smash comes on down. Ultra Shock laser also there. But now Chachi in danger. He's just not a very tanky Crocodile. He is outdated and obsolete, charging on forward the unstoppable onslaught. And Crowdy with the triple will ensure that everyone knows who exactly is the king in the NLC.
LR run over Nord and keep that crown untilted on their head for this first game at the very least, as they knock on the base of Nord with this Baron buff and look to do as much damage as they can.
Once again, it was another early game where it looked like Lost Ratones were falling behind. Then you looked up at the top of the screen and you realized it wasn't that close. Hang on, between worlds! Nemesis goes down, nice from Spyro. Is still trying to be the threat he can be. Velia down at 20% HP again across the veil, looking for more. Redemption heals a lot of people up. What about a teleport behind? There's got Chachi up in 10 seconds. Keep your eyes on potential angles. They are exactly that. Velia trying to steal away as many of these camps as they can. I don't know how aggressively Nord want to play this reminder. There's a dragon in 40 seconds. Maybe they want to try and get as much of this dead Nemesis moment as they can.
Yeah, let's see what they can actually get if they can deny bases. See, Jankos is kind of trying to slow chase, right? Just tail these guys all the way into their jungle. Vision Plant's going to reveal everyone on the red buff. Jankos wants the smite. He's not going to get it.
Unlucky on that one. Reset. Oh, hang on.
Hey.
Last cone available. We'll still get at least a little bit of a delayed reset. 15 seconds now on the Chem Dragon. Again, at this point, with those empowered resets, should still be able to get there, I think, roughly in time. Here's a replay of that Baron, though. Yeah,
I mean, just take a look at Jankos, right? He tries to get in. He's not denied by anyone on LR. He's in. The smite actually comes from Velia, and I think you're right. The Boomerang Blade or maybe an Awe attack. Doesn't matter. Jankos dies in the pit, and then Chachi kind of sticks around in this bush. I think they're maybe saying, hey, maybe if we play slow, Nemesis, the Syndra is chunked out, we can look for a fight, but it just doesn't look good at all. Crowny's able to find himself 3 kills. Nord did get that dragon in the picture-in-picture, so they are 1 away from Seoul, but with the lead as big as it is, and LR being very cutthroat for the last 10 minutes or so.
Try and kill off this. Yeah. Still got that pot that Spyro just popped. He's got an elixir of source, trying to get some value on Onslaught. Not that great. Value trying to get on board with the Cyclone, does not really get it. The Treats is a dead man. Trying to bring down Bounce to survive. Nah, no way. Chachi gonna slice forwards. The Culling of the Meek is still not enough healing. Value alive with the wild growth. And somehow the Garden of Lost Ratones refuses to be pruned. Spyro trying to get away, but this bunny rabbit has got no more legs to hop on. The Nexus turrets in Lost Ratones' eyes, and all the early game kills against Nemesis in the world will not stop Lost Ratones from winning game 1, regardless.
An excellent